All right, so let me ping the build, and then I'll hit the gear, and we'll just do it right quick. First build. Okay, so this is Boon Rips. This is not pure just power trying to get top damage, because it doesn't get top damage as well as other stuff. But it should be top Boon Rips. You really should be beating everybody else in Boon Rips, except for maybe a random Spellbreaker who gets a awesome bubble. So you have your Well of Corruption as your big one, your bomb, your AoE Boon Rip. You have your Focus 5, which is much longer range at 1200. So a lot of times you can get that off first. You have your Shade F2. So if you're traded with this way, then the Boon Rip comes from the F2 from your shades as well as from where you're at. Looks like we got Ash in here. Let's take the new instance. We'll get everybody in here. But yeah, Scourge is in blue and Guardians in red. Spinal Shivers is focus. So it's your 5 skill. So I have Axe Focus, and then I have Scepter Dagger. All right, so yeah, Boon Rips. You have so many Boon Rips, it's not even funny. You have the Well I mentioned. You have your F1. So your shades that you put out, they'll give you Boon Rips when you do the F2. You have your Dagger 5. You have your Scepter 3, which is strong. Really, really, really strong. And then you have your Dagger 3, which is shorter range, but if you can hit them, it's straight. It's really strong. And then your big Breach, of course. So the best thing is really to just kind of try it out, but keeping in mind that some of them are targeted and some have longer range than others. So the focus being the longest range, a lot of times that's easier to get off first. You want to save your well for when there's, a bigger instance of enemies all grouped together, or if a bomb is called for. That's kind of your high damage, and you do both the wells together a lot of times. The shades you can do over and over. As long as you have life force, they're just, constantly available. So you do both your shades, you do your F skills, F2, F3, F4, F5. There's some life force kind of management, so you have to use your other skills to maintain the life force where you can. But like I said, it's not, you do get really good damage. Don't get me wrong. You get a lot of damage, but the main focus really is the Boon Removal. So you need to target our enemy Firebrand here, and you need to pay attention to his boons and watch as you're removing them. And he's going to be constantly putting them back on, because that's what Firebrands are supposed to do. So a lot of your skills are just going to remove boons, but then a lot of them are going to actually corrupt boons, and corrupting is much, much stronger. So each Boon has a related condition it could turn into. So, like, right now he has Aegis on him. So if I hit him with my Dagger 5 here, it's going to turn into a condition. Except for its Aegis because it blocks it, so... put some Swiftness on or something like that. Alright, I'll hit him with the F2 on there. We go. So it turned him into Fear. So let's try to just one at a time. If we all do it, they're gonna melt. But one person at a time. Kind of go through your Boon Removal skills. So Salamander, if you want to go first on them.
Okay. Just opening up the tab so I can see the Boon Removals.
Edge, if you don't have Axe Focus, go with a staff. It'll just give you some range and some life force availability.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to hit you with that.
You're fine. You're fine, bud.
Yeah, staff is nice because of the longer range. You definitely get some extra hits in.
Yeah, but you're limited to just the staff for the Fondi removals, right? Or what's it, corruptions?
Yeah, there's not much as far as Boon Removal with the staff. It is just kind of some big AoE damage for... It's not really that big a damage. It just hits a large area.
Okay.
But yeah, it's mostly for the long range. You can peck at them and take off their Aegis and kind of hit up on walls and stuff. So it's not great. Staff is not great. It's okay, but it has really long range. But kind of because we're getting some good revs and good burn guards that have 1200 range, the Scourges can be a little bit more mid-range and playing more in the 900 area versus the 1200. And that's kind of half of it here, which this circle is about 900 across. So Guardians could back up to the other side, like to the edge of the circle there. I think Ash might be semi out of it. So yeah, if you kind of put out, say, your well to the other side to where Rob is, that's going to be right about 900. That's kind of your mental idea of how far away your skills can hit. So you need to be like right around there, and you know, with the commander just behind them, of course. But that's your happy spot right in there. So we're probably a bit low on life force, but I'm gonna go through a quick rotation here. So I'll go in, some shades, get my well. I'm moving in now in melee. I don't get knocked over. I can get my breach off. Get another well. Dropping more shade. I'll get my big 3 skill in there. More shades. Another well. More shades. Big 3 skill. So the big determining factor is kind of your life force. So if you're starting a fight without it, that's kind of on you. Like, you need to, as a necro, manage your own life force, and you need to like find some animals to kill or something ahead of time so that you have enough to start with. Yeah, let me back up out of combat. Yeah, so we're trying. So this is a Boon Rip build. The one we've been trying mostly is a power build with blood bank, so it's a little bit tankier and is more focused on pure damage. But this is Boon Rips. So yeah, Edge, if you want to go through a rotation and try to rip some boons from there, get some practice on what you got with the wells and the shade. But to build Life Force, a quick trick you can do is equip the Bone Minion skill, so the summon Bone Minions. And so you pull out the Bone Minions, and then you explode them. You hit this skill again, and you explode them, you get the Life Force.
Rest now.
Oh, nice.
And then you can switch your skill back after you get the Life Force. Yeah, no, that's a nice thing about the staff. You do have to take Soul Reaping, and that's kind of the trade-off. Like Soul Reaping is going to give you more staff skills. It's going to give you more tankiness. It'll give you some crit chance if you take the ending trait. But the switch and focus on this one is the Boon Rip, and that's kind of where it's the job in the squad. The Necro has the range Boon Removal and the AoE Boon Removal in general, all the Boon Removal. The only other person that's really doing it is a Bubble from a Warrior or a Mesmer with their Null Field. Nothing else is really taken off boons. So that's kind of where the Necros need to be focusing more on that and not just on trying to spike as much damage out as they can. So yeah, so as far as toughness, I mean, it's not so much about the meleeing. I mean, this is ran with Marauders, Berserkers. So you don't really even have toughness per se that you're bringing. Your main focus is really more on vitality, so you have a big enough health pool, and then you can cover that even more with your barrier. But it's really about trusting our support, and our support has gotten way better. So our guardians and our Ellies and our scrappers are covering you enough. You don't need so much toughness. Yeah, so axe, focus, scepter, dagger. And yeah, staff is an option, but I highly encourage you to try the double weapon sets because the boons are way higher, and it's got a lot of extra stuff you can do with it that the staff doesn't really do. It's really aggressive. It's fun. So yeah, let's get some more of these minions out. Try to get everybody up to full life force. Let me get one more minion explosion here, and I'll be full. And I mean, the trinkets and the rune are where you have some wiggle room. I mean, if you're newer to it, I mean, vampirism. I'm by no means a pro, Scourge, but vampirism gives you some extra health, some extra power. Scholar is like the high DPS option. Fireworks maybe, but really you're looking at power once you get more comfortable with it. But some vitality, toughness, maybe durability is another good option if you're not used to it and you're getting squished a lot. So really, in a big bomb, you're trying to mash as many buttons as you can as fast as you can. Like you get your shades out quickly. You F2 the quote unquote like fast rips rotation that people tell me is 2 shades. You hit the F2, you target somebody, and you hit them with the Scepter 3. And that's where targeting comes in, because ideally you're on a Guardian, because they're going to have all the boons. Or maybe an NG if you can catch them. So throw 2 shades out there on them. You get the F2 that rips their boons. You rip the boons real hard from their Guardian. You switch to Axe. You hammer them with the Scepter, or the 3 once we're in close, and the F5, and that should really max it out. And then on the push, we'd add in the Breach, and you kind of, add in the Wells to finish. All right, so what we're going to do is kind of practice the boon removal a bit. And Guardians, if you can go ahead and empower, it all works better if you have multiple targets. All your stuff is really, except for the exception of a few weapon skills, it has multiple people. So they've empowered. Apply all the boons you can. Just get the protection, the Aegis, everything you can throw in there. All right, so just for visuals, we're going to all go up and throw just both our wells, always starting with Well of Corruption. 3, 2, 1, push up. More boons, more boons, more boons. Book 3. Well of Corruption, Well of Suffering. Well of Corruption, Well of Suffering. That's all. Nothing else. They cannot stand there. They cannot. The wells are really, really strong, and they pulse boon removal and damage. So if you get Scourges on their game, and we have multiple Scourges, and they're doing that on time, that's kind of where we're not doing what we need to do. So that's just the wells, and that's our quote unquote bomb, our biggest hit. That's not to be wasted. The lighter hits are more with the shades and the weapon skills, but that's what a real quote unquote bomb should look like. Adding in our revs and all the other stuff, but. So Kai, yeah, if you want to try your boon removal on them, you guys can go ahead and get your boons back up, whatever you have off cooldown. Yeah, the wells are big. Save the wells for the bomb. Use the shades and the weapons for the initial engages and the first taps. Because kind of like boxing, it's starting with jabs. You don't hit them with your biggest hit on the first shot because they're ready for it. Unless we're like, coming from stealth and, we've got them off guard some kind of way. Heal up there. Guards, let me know if you guys are kind of out of skills. We'll wait for a second.
Yeah, I'm out of book 3.
All right.
Same.
So yeah, this is this is a part of a failure on me in not being aware of what's going on and not listening to people enough. But the Scourges on the other side are hammering our guards with the boon rips, and you can feel it. Like it's particularly that Scepter 3 is just brutal. Because it's turning a lot of your boons into conditions, so it's bad in 2 ways. Who else do we have that jumped in here? Kylo, you want to give it a shot with the boon removal? I should be about ready with at least some staff skills and all that. Okay, go ahead. Let me ping the build again here. Got some people just join in. So your defensive piece is a lot about trusting your support, but you do have your barrier that you can rotate between your F3 and your heal skill and your F5, although that's more offensive. Condition removal, you have your F2, although that's really more offensive. You have some conditioned sending you can do with your dagger, but you're really focusing on boon removal damage, and your rotation off of your boon removal that is spike strong damage and is really good if you get somebody below 50% health is your Axe 2. Your Axe 2 just hammers them. So I'm gonna drop some boon removal with my shade, and then whoever I get to 50% health first, I'm gonna hammer with Axe 2. I got my life force up here. All right, coming in. Get a few boons up if you could, gentlemen. So that's going. Get in with my Axe 2. More shades. Axe 2 again. It's targeted, but the pressure you can put somebody under, if you keep them down with the Axe 2, particularly a light armor class can't take it. These guys are particularly tanky. But if you can find a stray, squishy person... Oh, shit. I think my game crashed. Not gonna lie, I just Alt F4 because my push to talk hotkey is alternate, and I pressed F4. So don't do that. I can't command on Scourge because of that problem. I'm too stubborn to change my hotkeys, so I just can't do it. Now, I think a lot of confusion comes in for some of the Scourges where they feel like Scourge is melee, and they feel like they have to be way closer than they need to be. 900 is a fairly decent range. You can be pretty far back and hit them with damn near all your skills. The only thing that you're really up close on is more with your big cripple boon rip in your Axe 3 and your breach. The rest of it is all long range. I mean, you know, mid range. 900 is I guess what you would think of as mid range, but it's not like you have to be right up on them. Pretty much everybody. BC, do you want to try going through the hitting our guardians there?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, it is a bit more like it is a bit higher level. It does require a bit more attention than just blasting somebody with damage. Like there is some targeting. There is picking out the right target in the Zerg. This is where you can be more proactive in your party and, like, you know, calling a target for the group and, you know, oh, we're gonna hammer this guardian or, you know, whatever it might be. Yeah, this is PvE stats, so some of the stuff you get in here is not going to be totally accurate to what you get in, you know, in Warverse World, and, you know, you'd be using food, etc., buffs from the group. But I'm at 2400 power. My health is at 23 for 55% crit chance. Ferocity 857. Like, those are the main stats you're worried about. Armor, you want to get it to right around 2k. Yeah, by all means, this is a great chance to test stuff. Like, we'll try to go through this a few times, and because this is really where I think you can get comfortable with your skills. It's harder to see what they do in real fights. Yeah, because there's double guardians there, there's a lot of Aegis, so it's a little unusual, but your first hit is often going to be blocked. But your wells are unblockable, so that's why that's a great move if they are kind of not moving and stuck in one place. For CC, you do have a good CC in the Scepter 2. Those crippling hands, those are pretty decent for if they're running at us or anything like that. And you have your fear from the F4. Yeah, I think we could probably afford to have 2 people hitting them. Their sustain is pretty good. Not 3, I don't think, but 2 can go at. And particularly if you play Guardian, you can start to recognize stuff. You know, you'll see like there's their resistance. You'll see the reflect up. Some of your stuff can be reflected. So if you see that reflect bubble up, don't hit with your, auto attacks and things that are going to come back at you.
So do you prefer having Scourges in party versus Reapers?
At this point, yes, I'm leaning way more towards Scourge. The range advantage and the Boon Rip is becoming a little bit more valuable than just the pure damage from the Reaper. And plus, we have to get in range with the Reaper. That's becoming a little difficult as outnumbered as we are. I mean, it's still nice to have a few Reapers in the mix, but the Boon Rip Soul bleh, Scourge is highly valuable, and we need some more of. The Reaper's way tankier. I mean, that's the vulnerability of this one. It's harder to play and it's squishier. You don't have your double, health pool. You have your barrier. You have one stun break, and that's really all you got. So you have to be with some good support. You cannot roam with this. But the bigger our group is, the better this does. If you jump in, like Elric's group or anything like that, or Fabian's or whatever, you're gonna see. If you run our DPS or anything, you're gonna really shine.
Yeah, this tune I don't have all the Scourge training unlocked yet. My other Scourge has everything unlocked, but I don't have the right gear on it.
Gotcha. And I mean, on that end, honestly, like the build that I'm using and the build that Ash is using on Condi are exactly the same, except for like one skill change, and I think maybe one trait. So you can totally run this as Condi, and you get the same boon removal. You're just hitting them with Condis instead of power.
I have a roaming build on my other one, and then the old, what was it, the hot trait with expertise in it for PvE. And then this one has the Reaper, the new Reaper World versus World on it, and then uh, a general PvE build.
Gotcha. Yeah, just a general set of Marauders will do you well, even if you can just get them from the armor chest from the reward tracks. It's totally fine. I mean, exotics are great weapons and gear. I don't have any issue with non-ascendants, you know. All right, so that's the kind of basics of it. I mean, focus, or I'm sorry, scepter, torch is strong. Torch is a really strong AoE. You have some good damage you can get out of there, but man, the boon removal is just it's hard to. I would give up dagger before I would give up focus if you had to choose.
Well, ideally, you would want the Scourges the boon rep, and then have like a warrior bubble so they can't add new to leave the enemy naked. Um,
Right, right. It's all about, combos and synergy and stuff like that. And so, yeah, if we have the ability to get a warrior bubble on, you're automatically, without it being called for, dumping your wells and your shades and whatever else you can get in there. Your breach you're kind of holding on to, that's a little more higher value, but anything that can get stuck in there and has their boons removed from is going to be done. But yeah, it is a bit of also having some confidence to push, because you do have good AoE damage locally around you. Like, all of your F keys trigger around you as well as around your shades. So you don't really technically have to use shades. If we're highly aggressive and we're pushing into range. So like if we're super aggressive and I'm gonna push into them, I would just be going with a little bit of barrier. I'm gonna get my breach in. I don't have any life force, so I can't actually do it anymore, but I would just trigger all my F skills standing right next to him. Add in some extra stuff with my weapons, and I can damage. If you mash your skills fast enough, you can put out more damage than they can heal. That's basically what it's about. And you just trust your support to keep you alive. Ash, kind of any bits that I miss as a non-necro main?
No, I think some of the points that were made, like, are good. I mean, it's just a matter. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like when you want to up your damage is this, like you were saying with Soul Reaping, you would maybe pull curses out
Mhm.
and put Soul Reaping in, and then use Soul Barbs and, like you said, the last trait, Death Perception, to increase. I mean, you do get a pretty decent damage up. You know, if you're running a lot of Scourges, you don't need as much, and that's where the commander will figure that out. You can get some people out of that bone rip and more into the damage, but um, yeah, I mean it's pretty good. I mean the big thing for us is just getting the bombs focused. I mean I don't know if you want to work on a little bit of that. I mean Rob and I can run around and you guys could try and drop everything on us. I mean just drop all your wells and shit.
Yeah, that's a good thing we can try. Let's do some life force. Get our minions, get that back up here. Get out of
I don't
combat
know
and
if
heal up.
what's his name? Is it Staccato? Like he's really he does really good on Scourge, so I don't know if he's got anything to
Killing my
add.
minions? I'll make more.
I'm
Yeah,
sort of
by all
torn.
means.
I'm like him with the torch too. I'm sort of torn because I do like that torch.
I mean, if I was running Condi, I would probably go with Torch. That has a lot of application
Oh
there.
yeah, it does. Oh, you're using the yeah. You're dangerous, man.
I mean, the big one for the boon rips really seems to be the curses. Like if you're running the curses trait line,
Yeah,
particularly the scepter and that last trait,
yeah, that's
that's the big
huge.
stuff.
Yep. I think Rob's at the restroom.
Okay. But yeah, that's the boon ripping is kind of like the unseen thing, and you don't really immediately feel it, and you don't always get credit for it. It's kind of highly necessary, particularly for taking off their stability. But for us hitting bigger groups and stuff like that, to be able to stop them in their tracks and take their boons off is something we're lacking a bit, and I think it could be a game changer.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And as was it BC said, if the one thing we can do is we got to get a little better at pulling getting that warrior bubble right when you rip those boons, because not being able to reapply them. I think sometimes people, don't understand that concept of the spell breaker.
Yeah, and it, I mean, it hurts for them to put their boons back on, and your stuff is moving their boons into condition, so it hurts them. It literally damages them the more their guardians are putting boons back on. So if they're just playing normally, they're killing themselves by applying more boons. Spite soul reaping versus soul reaping curses. I mean, it's not a better. It's, do you want more damage or do you want more boon removal?
Yep. That's yeah. If you want more damage, soul ripping. If you want more boon removal, spite. Unless you're playing Reaper, then it's like curses is gone, and then it's
It's
what?
just all damage, yeah.
Yeah, it's spite and curse or spite and soul ripping.
But I mean, I our boon removal is carried by one or two people in the guild. Like, I can tell you, the people who play the boon removal Scourge build get 3 to 4 times as many boon removals as any of the other people in the group, except for maybe a lucky warrior bubble. And over a longer fight, the warrior bubble loses because the boon removal just keeps happening from the Scourge. Whereas the bubble, if I call it wrong or if the enemy sees it coming and they move out of it, is just wasted. But the Scourge boon removal just keeps happening. It's just constant.
And that's where getting to communicating a little better. Like if you have two scourges in a party, I think you only probably would need one running that if you've got
Mm-hmm.
coverage and other boon removals, and then one could definitely err on the side of the power.
Like in an ideal world, we'd have maybe a Scourge per party, maybe not quite, but a Scourge and a Rev is a really good team for damage, or a Scourge and an LE. So you have your boon removal and your straight damage covered, or even a burn guard to supplement a Condi Scourge. Yeah, get some boons on there. Now this is where I'm kind of open to what you guys think as far as the calls of stuff, because I mean, different guilds and different commanders do stuff differently on the necro skills, and calling for wells and calling for shade spike and different stuff like that has, I don't know. I mean, I've seen it work and I've seen it not work, and
The most effective thing I've seen in probably the last month and a half are the chrono pulls, and then bombing on that pull, because visually it is
mhm,
so easy to see, because people just start flying into
mhm.
that area that they pull. Um, After that, it's unless unless you're marking or have a person to bomb on. That's sort of the nice thing about a tanky warrior. Um, like, you know, but in the choke point, when you're marking, some people will use those marks. They'll put the little, all right, bomb on this little green arrow.
How much do you save your wells, Ash? Let me ask you that. Like, with the stuff I
Uh,
call and how I normally go through fights, like.
I will, if we're spread, I will, if, and now see, this is a little different because I'm just now playing I'm so used to playing Condi. I play a little bit different when I have Condi, um, because I have a lot of sources for corrupt. I been trying to do a better job holding them, but sometimes if I see a bridge and a choke, and I'm looking out of the corner of my eye and I see a bunch of people over there, I'll drop shit just to push them away from us.
So my thought is to, and this is me talking to myself too, but for me to start calling a shade spike and then wells. But you know, if I say a bomb, that's kind of everything, and that should just be kind of understood. Does that make sense? Or
Yeah, no, no. I mean, if you want the stuff held, I mean, like I said, I occasionally will. Like I said, if I see somebody, if I see a firebrand, and there is no engineer nearby, because see the game changer's the engineer, because even though you're corrupting the bone, and if you corrupt the bone and you have a scrapper, and that scrapper's in cleanse mode, they're just reapplying those damn bones. That's, you know, but if you can catch a firebrand without a scrapper, um, you know, then it gets a little bit easier to deal with.
but those are kind of your two go-to targets if you can find them, though, the
Oh yeah,
firebrand and the scrapper.
yeah. For me, yeah. Especially, I think, you know, especially if I'm running Condi, I'm always chasing scrappers down. You know, that's what I try to target, just to put poison on them. And, just you know, I'll run a little more poison, like I'll run the Doom Sigil, and just try to let Scepter go through its rotation, and then I'll run the one, what is it? The one, I can't think of what it is. It's the poison one that's in the trait line for Scourge. Not the trait line, but the utility. It's the one that applies poison. It's got a boon corrupt and a poison applier. But I'll use that. I'll try to get the poison on. But because if you can keep reapplying, as an engineer, you know, that's a pain in the ass. At
Yeah,
least for me it is. But if you've got a good guardian and they're putting resistance down, I mean, it's a pain. They're a pain in the ass. I mean, it's really about trying to get I think it's about the corruption and then putting the bubble on that group so they can't reapply that shit. And then if you can pull in that bubble once those things are gone, that's what what's his name does so well. That guy that runs 5,000 people in his squad.
into
Yeah, he does an okay job with that.
yeah. Let's try a spike with the shades and hold on to your wells. So stay off your wells, save your weapon skills, and we'll just work only with our shade up here. I think
So
we
we'll
should.
move around a little bit. That way it won't go crazy. But just
For this, you don't really have poison, I don't think. Oh no, on your auto attack you do.
I'm talking about your utility.
Oh, you use the siphon.
Scourge utility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's push up. I'm gonna call the shades, so it'll be shades and then your F skills. So 3, 2, 1. Push up, push up, push up. Shade spike, shade, 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 and F skill, and back away. And those hotkeys suck, by the way. Like if you are playing this, you probably should consider changing those to shift something instead of going crazy with reaching out to hit F skills. Not as big a deal as with other classes. Or this one and Krona are really bad with that. Like you have to be all over the place with the skills. But... All right, so we're gonna push up, pretending we don't have much life force because we don't. Or actually, let's do our CC. If you guys can run at us, we'll go with the Scepter 2 and try to stop you with that.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, run at us. Be ready with the Scepter. Drop it. Scepter, Scepter. And then Weld. I just dodge to the side. Shade Spike. Shade Spike. Done. Back away.
Yeah, you can feel that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that kind of timing will help us out. going in with the multiple shade spikes, the F2. Focusing on that a bit early in the fight to get the Boon Removal. A little bit of hitting them with the weapons, and then the big one is the Wells, saving the Breach for the big melee push. Yeah, let's try it without me, you guys. Follow Salamander.
Alright, we're coming in.
Wait for them to stack some buffs real quick. Gonna go around, then drop your shades. Then walls on them.
They'll have to hit much harder.
Oh. Doesn't res. I missed one.
Memes.
You like that torment.
Oh, I tell you, it's nasty.
Let me even the score. I can dust off my NG. But yeah, we're pretty much in practice mode. If you guys have any questions or anything that came up that we didn't cover, go for it. This is the time. Unsteady Ground was the Ellie skill, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. We should do like Ellie training sometime, but I think like with the CCs and such.
Yeah, yeah. I think even the Tempest can throw out some really nice CC.
Yeah.
That's missing. Yeah, no, Ellie is the next on the docket. I don't know how to play Ellie, so I kind of need some other people to help me out on that one. All right, so we got triple support, so you guys have a little harder time. Go for it, whenever you're ready.
Alright, run up. Shades. Let's move into them and drop a Ghastly Breach. Ghastly Breach down. Alright, Wells. Shades.
Yeah, the breach was too much.
Should I have not done the Ghastly Breach?
No.
No. I
That's
was just
what
saying we
need
couldn't
to
heal
do.
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
That was
that's
good.
What you need to do. No.
The big one with that is to kind of drop it and continue moving though, because it stays in one spot, so you can drop it and then come back and bait him through it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the target cap on breach is 5 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want multiple, like everybody doing it, so you catch their whole group.
Did it used to have a higher number? I can't even remember.
Scourge used to be stronger in general. I don't know.
Oh my god, I remember when the big shades and the little shades hit 5 people. I mean the shade around you, and then the one you projected outward. It was insane.
All right, let's get some boons up, and we're gonna try this again. I'll do better. All right, come at us.
Ooh.
History is mine.
Fancy.
Drop some marks. dropping a ghastly breach on me.
I don't have enough energy. They'll have to hit much harder.
And we're stealthing. We're about to be behind you. You gotta find us. And where are we? Where are we? Where are we?
God damn, it's long stealth.
Yeah. There they are.
Here we are.
Oops.
Time to do some more.
Alright, running in, dropping a ghastly breach.
Ooh, no way. Go. Stealthing. Go book 1. Be ready for a pull. Coming in with the pull.
Replenishing. I feel good.
If you get hit, your first go-to should be your stun break, and then if you can do some barrier and a dodge roll, you should be able to get back to your group. Never, ever, ever, ever use your snail trail skill for swiftness. Save it for a stun break.
Okay.
You know, what's it called? Trail of Anguish?
Yeah. Snail snot.
If we're in a good position and we're just running through, yeah, it can be good boon removal as well, but just be aware you're wasting your get out of jail free.
They'll have to hit much harder.
Top control. I mean, ghastly breach.
And try to maintain barrier too. Don't blow too much life force on it. But if we spread out our scourges and we have barrier, it's a decent difference.
I could outrun a centaur. Sand, shield us.
Some decent support here, guys. Stealthing out.
Not enough endurance.
Now, you guys are going to do way better if you just focus one target. So, I need you to just... Alright, well, that's already happening.
Jesus, at least let me be alive for a couple of seconds. You know what? Here, have some torment.
So, we're all friends here. So, in any 5-man party that you were in, be willing to call a target. Like, the worst thing that could happen is somebody will call a target and change it. Like, oh well, you know. Be willing to call a target. Like, there's a lot of people that just don't even bother, I think, but Yeah, no, call targets, especially in those fights. It's gonna help other people to be on that target too, and just you for like getting that target back. If they stealth and they reappear, you can find your target again.
Okay.
If my lieutenants can be willing to put markers on targets of interest on the enemy group, that helps a lot too. Any lieutenant can use squad markers and mark those damn, main firebrands in the enemy group. Ideally, if we're using markers, it should be on the enemy commander, which is normally quite obviously the firebrand that's up in front, or maybe a chrono, whatever. But yeah, generally the firebrands or the scrappers, if you can find the scrappers, those are the two best ones to hammer with your boon ribs.
Target identified.
That was a fun little fight, actually. I had to work for it there.
Yeah, we should have a Scourge night or a Necro night. Bring out the
Like you
minion
would-
mancers.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That
Be hilarious.
does seem kind of viable lately. Whatever changes they've made have made the minions stronger.
Yeah,
I have seen them run around.
I see them in
Blood
PvP
necros.
sometimes now.
But yeah, that's longer than usual for training, but I think it was good. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Kriff.
Any last questions in there? All right. Well, I hope to see more boon rips going on in our next run. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
I will
Kriff.
see you later.
All right, see ya.